Hello and welcome to our channel. Today we're taking a running leap, a backwards dive, and a sideways scramble into a fascinating realm that's challenging our traditional views of athleticism and entertainment, the world of unusual sports. For centuries, sports have united us, thrilled us, and defined entire cultures. We rally behind our teams, we celebrate our heroes, and we marvel at the peak of human physical achievement. Names like the Super Bowl, the World Cup, and the Olympics are global monoliths, events that command the attention of billions. Football, basketball, and soccer dominate the headlines, creating a very specific and, let's be honest, a somewhat narrow image of what it means to be an athlete. But what happens when you look beyond the pristine grass of the pitch or the polished hardwood of the court? What do you find in the margins, in the back alleys, and on the weird, wonderful fringes of competition? You find a vibrant, thriving subculture of unconventional sports that is rapidly gaining traction. These are the sports that make you do a double take. They are the sports that push boundaries, defy expectations, and often combine elements you'd never ever imagine putting together. Think of it like this. If mainstream sports are the chart-topping pop hits, familiar, beloved, and expertly produced, then unusual sports are the indie rock, the experimental jazz, the underground punk scene. They are raw, innovative, and born from a pure passion for doing something completely different. So what exactly makes a sport unusual? It's a combination of bizarre equipment, mind-bending rules, or the fusion of wildly different disciplines. It's the spirit of invention applied to physical contest. This isn't just a modern phenomenon either. The history of sport is littered with oddities that make today's games look tame. Take, for example, calcio storico, which originated in 16th century Florence, Italy. Imagine a massive public square filled with sand, two teams of 27 men, and a single goal. Get the ball to the other end by any means necessary. This isn't an exaggeration. We're talking a brutal, chaotic mix of rugby, wrestling, and bare-knuckle boxing. There are few rules, and the ones that exist seem to be mere suggestions. It's a spectacle of violence and pride that has been played for over 500 years, a living relic of a time when sport was as much about civic warfare as it was about points on a board. Even older is the Mesoamerican ball game, played by the Aztecs and Mayans. Here, athletes used only their hips and thighs to knock a solid 9-pound rubber ball through a stone hoop mounted vertically on a high wall. The stakes? Sometimes the losing team, or even the winning captain, was offered as a ritual sacrifice to the gods. It puts losing a championship game into a whole new perspective, doesn't it? From these ancient, brutal contests, the spirit of unconventional competition has evolved. Today's innovators are less concerned with ritual sacrifice and more with creativity and sheer, unadulterated fun. This brings us to modern marvels like extreme ironing. Yes, you heard that right. It's a legitimate, albeit tongue-in-cheek, sport where competitors, known as ironists, take an ironing board and a freshly wrinkled shirt to the most remote and dangerous locations imaginable. They've ironed while skydiving, hanging from cliffs, scuba diving, and even on top of moving vehicles. It's a perfect parody of the extreme sports craze, a beautiful piece of performance art that asks, why take life so seriously? Then you have sports born from our collective imagination, like quad ball, formerly known as Quidditch. What started as a fictional game in the Harry Potter books has transformed into a real, full-contact, co-ed sport played by thousands at universities and clubs across the globe. Athletes run with PVC pipes between their legs to simulate broomsticks, hurl dodgeballs as bludgers, and chase a neutral player dressed in yellow who acts as the golden snitch. It's a testament to how a shared passion for a story can build an entirely new athletic community from the ground up. These examples barely scratch the surface, but they paint a clear picture. Whether ancient or modern, these activities are driven by a deep human desire for community, for challenge, and for a unique identity outside the mainstream. They are a powerful reminder that the definition of sport is not set in stone. It is a living, breathing concept constantly being reshaped by our incredible capacity for creativity. So, we've established that these incredible, bizarre, and brilliant sports exist. For decades, they thrived in relative obscurity, known only to the dedicated few who participated in them. They were local secrets, community gatherings, and niche hobbies. But that's all changing. As the world becomes more connected, these unique sports are no longer confined to obscure local circuits or underground arenas. They are breaking out, finding a massive new audience, and making their way directly onto our screens, captivating millions through viral videos, dedicated streaming platforms, and even mainstream television. The question is no longer, do these sports exist, but when will they be the next big thing we're all watching? The primary catalyst for this explosion is, without a doubt, the digital revolution. The internet, and specifically video sharing platforms like YouTube and TikTok, has become the great democratizer of sports media. A single, well-shot video of a cheese rolling race in England, where dozens of people tumble chaotically down a dangerously steep hill after a wheel of cheese, can rack up tens of millions of views overnight. A clip of botaoshi, the Japanese pole-toppling game played by cadets, can go viral for its sheer organized chaos. These platforms have given a global stage to sports that would never have gotten a second of airtime on traditional broadcast networks. They don't need a billion-dollar television deal. They just need a phone, a passionate community, and a moment of pure, unmissable action. But virality is just the beginning. The real challenge, and where the future lies, is in adapting these often complex sports for sustained media consumption. How do you turn a quirky spectacle into a watchable, compelling broadcast? Let's look at underwater hockey, also known as octopush. On the surface, it's just a swimming pool with some splashing. But beneath the water, it's a fast-paced, three-dimensional game of skill and endurance. To make it a spectator sport, broadcasters are leveraging technology in incredible ways. They use a network of underwater cameras, including cameras mounted on the players' masks, to give a first-person view of the action. They employ on-screen graphics to track the puck and highlight key players, much like in ice hockey. Expert commentators are crucial, explaining the intricate strategies and breath-holding techniques in real time. It's a perfect example of how technology can bridge the gap between participation and viewership, making the invisible visible. This blend of high-octane competition and high-tech production value has given rise to a new buzzword, sportainment. It's where the spectacle is just as important, if not more so, than the sport itself. And unusual sports are practically tailor-made for this new world. The undisputed king of modern sportainment is the Drone Racing League, or DRL. Here, pilots wearing VR-style goggles fly custom-built drones at over 90 miles per hour through complex, neon-lit, three-dimensional courses. It feels less like a traditional race and more like a real-life video game or a scene from a science fiction movie. The DRL was built from the ground up for a screen-first audience, with first-person views, ghost racers, and dazzling visual effects. It proves that a new sport can be invented and become a global media property in just a few short years if it embraces the language of modern entertainment. So, could we one day see chess boxing finals drawing Super Bowl-level ratings? Or will extreme ironing get its own Olympic category? Perhaps not. But these sports don't need to supplant the giants to be successful. The future of sports on our screens may not be a monoculture dominated by a few titans, but rather a rich, diverse ecosystem. Think of it like Netflix or Spotify, a long tail of content where dedicated streaming services and channels cater to hundreds of passionate global niches.
You might have a channel for combat sports featuring Glima and Calcio Storico, another for creative movement sports like Bossa Ball, and another for tech-based competitions like the DRL. This is the new frontier of entertainment, personalized, diverse, and endlessly surprising. These sports are more than passing fads. They are a glimpse into a future where the definition of an athlete is broader, the forms of competition are more creative, and our screens are filled with wonders we haven't even imagined yet. They prove that human creativity and competition is truly limitless. What's the craziest sport you've ever heard of? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe for more unusual worlds, and we'll see you soon.